Welcome to the channel. Before we dive into this speculative journey, make sure you're subscribed. Only 25 of our viewers are, so double check to stay updated on all our content. Let us set sail on a mind-bending journey. What if the One Piece is not a treasure? Today we'll explore a theory that turns the entire narrative of One Piece on its head. Instead of the typical vision of a physical treasure, what if the true meaning of the One Piece is something far more abstract, something that shakes the very foundation of the pirate world? As we begin, let us take a moment to look back at the history of the series. The One Piece, that legendary treasure sought after by countless pirates, holds an air of mystery and excitement. From Luffy's first steps on the Grand Line to the ultimate ambition of becoming Pirate King, the treasure has always been seen as a tangible goal, something physical to be discovered in the final stretch of the journey. But what if it's never been about gold, jewels, or wealth? What if the One Piece is something intangible? Today we'll dive into this idea and explore how it could reshape the One Piece world and its characters. The sun sets on the calm seas, casting a golden glow on the thousand sunny. The crew has just finished a hearty meal, and Luffy stands at the bow of the ship staring out at the horizon. The wind in his hair, the taste of adventure on his lips. He dreams of the treasure that awaits at the end of the Grand Line. But what if he is wrong? What if it is not a chest of riches waiting for him? The theory we're re-exploring today suggests that the One Piece isn't a treasure of physical wealth, but instead represents something far greater, something that could completely alter the trajectory of the series. What if, instead of material gain, the One Piece is the ultimate understanding or realization of freedom, purpose, or even the secret history of the world itself? Imagine if the One Piece is a truth so profound that it had been hidden for centuries, guarded by the will of the Pirate King Gol D. Roger. Let us break down the possibilities. We've seen hints throughout the series that suggest the One Piece could be a concept rather than a material object. Roger's final words in Logtown: the One Piece is real. But what if the treasure isn't gold or riches, but knowledge itself? Knowledge of the Void Century, or the true will of the Sea Kings, or perhaps a key to unlocking the world's mysteries. But there's more. Consider the people who have sought this treasure, like Gol D. Roger, who famously laughed upon finding it, and the way the world has been shaped by this treasure hunt. If it is not a material object, then what could this treasure truly represent? The One Piece has always symbolized the dream of pirates, freedom, adventure, and the ultimate goal of becoming Pirate King. But what if it is not just an external goal? What if the One Piece represents the journey itself? The pursuit of the treasure could be a metaphor for something deeper, a search for truth, for purpose, or for understanding in a world so filled with mystery. Could it be that the real treasure is the bonds formed along the way? The crew's unity, Luffy's growth, and the sense of belonging they find with each other on their adventure? As the Thousand Sunny sails forward into the next island, the wind whispers through the sails, carrying with it the scent of adventure and the promise of answers. But what if the One Piece isn't the destination at all, but the journey to uncover a world-altering truth? Let us take a deeper dive into this theory and explore the possibility that the treasure Luffy seeks might be connected to the hidden history of the world, the Void Century, the lost history erased from existence by the world government. We know that the Void Century is a dark, mysterious period in the One Piece world's history. It's the time when the ancient kingdom was wiped out and the world as history was erased. But there are small, scattered pieces of evidence that suggest the One Piece may be the key to unraveling this very history, a history so dangerous that the world government has done everything in its power to keep it hidden. The poneglyphs, those stone tablets scattered throughout the world, are remnants of this lost era. Nico Robinet's research into these texts has brought her closer than anyone to uncovering the truth. But what if the One Piece isn't just an object or treasure map, it's the final piece of the puzzle? The treasure might hold the key to unlocking the lost history, the truth about the kingdom that was wiped out, and the secret that the ancient weapons hold. This idea puts the treasure in a much grander context, where the real value of the One Piece isn't its wealth, but knowledge and power. As we think about the implications of this theory, we can help but consider the fate of Gul D. Roger. He was the last person to discover the One Piece, and his laughter upon finding it suggests he understood something profound. It is important to note that Roger didn't keep the treasure for himself, he passed it on, knowing that someone else would come after him to uncover the truth. This could imply that the One Piece isn't just a treasure, it is a message, a call to action for the next generation of pirates, for those brave enough to uncover the truth of the Void Century. And then there's the concept of the ancient kingdom. According to the poneglyphs and Robinet's research, this kingdom was a beacon of freedom and knowledge. But its downfall came at the hands of the world government, who erased all traces of its existence. Could the One Piece be a symbol of the last hope to restore the legacy of the ancient kingdom and bring an end to the world government's tyranny? If the One Piece holds the secret to the Void Century, it would make sense why the world government wants to keep it a secret at all costs. The D legacy, which seems to be tied to individuals who carry the will of D, could be the key to not only understanding the history of the world, but also overthrowing the old order. Luffy, with his ever-growing influence, could very well be the one to ignite the revolution that the world desperately needs. But what if the truth isn't just about overthrowing a government, it's about something even more personal to Luffy? Imagine the One Piece as a key to understanding his own identity, the meaning behind the D in his name, and his connection to Gul D. Roger. What if the treasure is a message left for him, not just as a pirate king, but as the carrier of the will that could change the world? In this context, the One Piece becomes a symbol of the legacy of freedom, the will to break free from tyranny, and the fight for truth. Luffy's journey becomes not just about claiming treasure, but about fulfilling a destiny that was set in motion centuries ago, a destiny that could bring about a new age of freedom for the world. But what is that destiny? Is it to unlock the secrets of the past? Or is it to destroy the power structures that have ruled the world for so long? The answer could lie in the very heart of the One Piece itself. As we move forward, we'll take a look at some of the key characters and their roles in this theory. How do people like Luffy, Robin, and even the mysterious figures like Blackbeard fit into this narrative? Could they all be pieces of a larger puzzle, each contributing to the unraveling of the mystery that is the One Piece? The wind picks up and the Thousand Sunny glides through the waters as we continue our journey through this bold theory. As we've discussed, the One Piece may not just be a treasure, it could be the key to unlocking the world as hidden history. But if this is true, then the people who play a part in this journey, Luffy, Robin, and even other pirates like Blackbeard must have crucial roles to play in unraveling the mystery. Let us start with Luffy, the very person who has devoted his life to finding the One Piece. On the surface, Luffy's motivations seem simple. He wants to become the Pirate King, to find the treasure, and to live freely on the seas. But what if Luffy's journey isn't just about personal ambition? What if Luffy's true role is as the heir to the will of D, destined to fulfill a much larger purpose? We've seen time and time again that Luffy is no ordinary pirate. His heart, his compassion, and his unwavering sense of justice set him apart from many of the other pirates he encounters. His connection to the D legacy is crucial here. The people who carry the D in their name have all been part of significant historical events, and they all seem to share a deep connection to freedom and revolution. Luffy, as the latest incarnation of this will, might be destined to uncover the truth behind the Void Century and the One Piece. But Luffy isn't the only one who plays a pivotal role in this journey. Nico Robin, with her knowledge of the poneglyphs, is the key to understanding the world as forgotten history. Her search for the Void Century and the secrets of the ancient world has brought her closer to the truth than anyone else. Robin's understanding of the ancient texts could make her the one to ultimately decipher the full meaning of the One Piece, especially if it is tied to the Void Century. Let us think about this for a moment. If the One Piece represents knowledge and understanding of the world as hidden history, then Robin's role becomes even more significant. She has already shown us glimpses of the power contained within the poneglyphs, and with the help of the crew, she could unlock the final piece of the puzzle. What if the treasure in its final form is a truth that only Robin can fully comprehend? What if the One Piece is not just something Luffy seeks for himself, but something Robin must help him unlock for the entire world to understand? But Robin isn't the only one with an interest in the poneglyphs. Other characters like the enigmatic Trafalgar Law and the ruthless Blackbeard are also deeply involved in the search for the One Piece, albeit with different motives. Blackbeard, for instance, seems to represent the darker side of the treasure hunt. While Luffy and his crew seek to uncover the truth, Blackbeard is more interested in using the treasure for personal power. His pursuit of the One Piece, if it holds the key to the ancient weapons or knowledge, could pose a serious threat to Luffy and the world at large. Think about how Blackbeard's pursuit of the One Piece could shift the balance of power in the world. He's already taken down some of the most powerful figures in the pirate world, and his growing influence suggests that he might be the one to challenge Luffy for the ultimate prize. But while Luffy fights for freedom and truth, Blackbeard is driven by greed and a thirst for control. If the One Piece holds the key to the Void Century, then Blackbeard's manipulation of this knowledge could change the world in dangerous ways. Then, we have the other major players in this mystery: the Revolutionary Army. Monkey D. Dragon, Luffy's father, is deeply involved in the fight against the world government. Dragon's role in the revolution could be tied to the ultimate truth behind the One Piece. What if the treasure is a tool to expose the true nature of the world government and the ancient kingdom? Could Dragon be planning to use the One Piece as a weapon to bring down the oppressive regime that rules over the world? All these characters, with their varying motives and knowledge, are working towards uncovering the truth behind the One Piece. But the question remains, what is that truth? Could it be a secret so powerful that it could alter the course of history? Is it a revelation that will bring about a new age of freedom? Or will it be something far more dangerous, capable of tearing the world apart? As we sail deeper into this theory, the Thousand Sunny continues its journey, cutting through the waves like the very spirit of freedom that defines the pirates aboard. We've explored the idea that the One Piece may not be a physical treasure, but rather the key to unraveling the truth of the Void Century and the ancient world. But what if this truth is more than just knowledge? What if the One Piece is a revolutionary force capable of reshaping the world as we know it? This idea takes us into darker territory, where the One Piece isn't just a truth about the past, but a weapon, one capable of bringing down the established powers of the world government. The implications of this are staggering. Imagine if the treasure is the missing piece that could expose the true nature of the ancient kingdom's downfall and ignite a revolution across the world. This could explain why the world government is so intent on keeping the treasure hidden, why they've gone to such lengths to erase the Void Century from history. Let us consider the world as it is now. The world government controls almost everything: the Marines, the Shichibukai, the Celestial Dragons, and the entire system of oppression that keeps the seas under their control. The Marines and the world government have been able to suppress rebellion and maintain their grip on power for centuries. But what if this power is built on a lie? What if the One Piece is the key to exposing the truth and revealing the lies that have been passed down for generations? This would give the One Piece a far more dangerous significance. Instead of being a treasure that grants riches, it could be a weapon of mass truth, a secret that, once revealed, would shatter the foundations of the world government. It could expose the corruption and tyranny at the heart of the global order, stripping away their authority and forcing a reckoning. The most interesting part of this theory is the idea that Luffy, the pirate who seeks the One Piece, could be the one to bring this revolution to life. We've seen time and again how Luffy's actions inspire those around him, from the nations he frees to the enemies he turns into allies. He's the catalyst for change. But could the true purpose of the One Piece be to awaken the will of the people and overthrow the world government? Luffy, with his unshakable resolve and his innate sense of justice, could be the perfect person to lead such a revolution. His journey has never just been about becoming Pirate King for the sake of power. It has always been about freedom. And what better way to fulfill his role as a leader of the revolution than by discovering the One Piece, uncovering the truth behind the Void Century, and using that knowledge to challenge the status quo? This idea suggests that the One Piece isn't just a physical place or object. It is the ultimate symbol of freedom and truth. It represents the awakening of a new world order, where the old oppressive systems are dismantled and replaced with something better. The treasure could be a message to future generations, telling them that the time has come to break free from the shackles of tyranny. But where does this leave the other characters in the story? Could it be that they are all part of a larger plan, each playing a crucial role in this revolution? Characters like Robin, who holds the key to unlocking the poneglyphs, or Dragon, who leads the revolutionary army, all seem to be working toward a similar goal: exposing the truth and bringing down the world government. The pieces of this puzzle are scattered throughout the Grand Line, and only by coming together can they reveal the full scope of the One Piece. The One Piece, then, could be a revolutionary force, not just a treasure chest to be opened. It could be the spark that ignites the flame of revolution, pushing the world to change forever. Luffy, with his crew of Nakama and allies, could be the ones to set this chain of events in motion. The treasure, whatever it truly is, may be the final catalyst for a new era, one where the people are no longer controlled by the tyranny of the world government. As we continue to explore this theory, we'll take a closer look at the other forces at play in this revolutionary journey. How will the Revolutionary Army, the Marines, and even pirates like Blackbeard react to this truth? Will they accept it, fight against it, or seek to control it for themselves? The answer to these questions could determine the fate of the world and the true nature of the One Piece itself. The sun blazes high above, casting its rays on the deck of the Thousand Sunny as it sails steadily through the Grand Line-S unpredictable waters. We venture deep into the heart of the theory that the One Piece is not a treasure, but a revolutionary truth, one capable of shaking the very foundation of the world. But what happens when the powers that be the world government and its military arm, the Marines, are confronted with this revelation? How will they react when the truth behind the One Piece is finally uncovered and the world government's dark secrets come to light? This section is dedicated to the forces that will inevitably clash once the One Piece's true nature is revealed. On one side, we have the Revolutionary Army, led by none other than Luffy's father, Monkey D. Dragon. On the other, we have the world government and the Marines, who will stop at nothing to protect their power and suppress any truth that could destabilize their rule. But what happens when these two sides collide and the truth becomes too powerful to suppress? First, let's examine the Revolutionary Army. Dragon and his forces have been working in the shadows, pushing back against the world government's control in subtle yet impactful ways. The revelation of the One Piece, if it truly exposes the Void Century and the crimes of the world government, would undoubtedly be the catalyst for a full-scale rebellion. We know that Dragon has been building a global resistance for years, and his efforts have already made a significant impact in places like Baltigo and Dressrosa. He is not only aiming to topple the corrupt world government, but also to give the people of the world the freedom they've been denied for so long. The truth of the One Piece could be the perfect weapon to rally the masses, to ignite uprisings across the globe, and finally dethrone the world government. Dragon, however, is not the only revolutionary figure in the story. Luffy, though unaware of the full weight of his legacy, has been steadily gathering a following of his own. He may not have the same grand political schemes as his father, but Luffy's innate ability to inspire loyalty in others is unmatched. Through his actions, through his freedom, his refusal to accept oppression, and his sheer willpower, Luffy has become a symbol of hope and change for many. When Luffy eventually discovers the true nature of the One Piece, will he join forces with his father's revolution? Or will his path be one of his own choosing, leading him to challenge the world government in a way that no one has ever seen before? But while the Revolutionary Army sees the One Piece as a tool for liberation, the world government will do everything in its power to maintain control. The government has worked tirelessly to erase the Void Century from history, and if the One Piece threatens to expose the truth, they will stop at nothing to destroy it. Think about the lengths the world government has gone to in order to preserve its power, the creation of the Marines, the institution of the celestial dragons, and the erasure of entire civilizations from history. The destruction of O'Hara, where Nico Robinet's mother, Nico Olvia, uncovered the poneglyphs, is just one example of how far they will go to protect their secrets. The World Government S forces, including the Marines, the Cypherpol agents, and the secretive Admiral Fleet, would mobilize to hunt down and eliminate anyone who dares to expose the truth. But there is something to consider here. The more the world government tries to suppress the truth, the more they risk igniting the very rebellion they fear. In the face of such overwhelming opposition, it might be that the One Piece, the key to the world's hidden history, becomes a symbol of resistance, something that cannot be eradicated no matter how much the government tries to hide it. The Marines, too, are not a monolith. Characters like Admiral Akainu, who is fiercely loyal to the world government, will undoubtedly see the exposure of the One Piece as a threat to the established order. Akainu, whose brutal methods have been central to the Marines' approach, would likely see the treasure hunt as a direct challenge to the power structures he holds dear. His willingness to use extreme force to suppress the truth could lead to an even greater conflict. However, not all Marines share the same zeal. Characters like Admiral Aokiji, Kuzan, who left the Marines after a bitter conflict with Akainu, may see the unfolding truth of the One Piece as a moment of change. Could he, and others like him, side with the truth seekers, perhaps even turning against the world government in the process? The real question lies in how the world's nations and their people will respond when the truth is finally laid bare. The world government has controlled the flow of information for centuries, but with the rising tides of rebellion and the increasing influence of figures like Luffy, Robin, and Dragon, that control is slowly slipping. The One Piece could be the final nail in the coffin for an empire built on lies. What will happen when the people learn the truth about the Void Century? What will happen when they realize that the world government has been hiding the history of a free and peaceful civilization, one that was destroyed to create the oppressive world they live in now? This could cause a global revolution, one where the oppressed rise up against their oppressors, demanding justice and freedom. The sun dips below the horizon, casting a warm, golden hue over the deck of the Thousand Sunny. The world feels on the cusp of change, as if it can sense the monumental shift that could soon take place. We've explored the potential of the One Piece being a revolutionary truth, something that could tear down the old structures of power and ignite a new era of freedom. But now, let us focus on what happens after the revolution is sparked. Once the truth is laid bare, what kind of world could emerge from the ashes? We've seen throughout the series that the world of One Piece is filled with oppression, injustice, and a rigid class system. The world government has held dominion over the seas for centuries, controlling everything from the Marines to the celestial dragons. The aristocracy's dominance over the common people has created an unstable society, one in need of a radical transformation. But what does that transformation look like? First, let us examine the political landscape. The revelation of the One Piece, if it is indeed tied to the Void Century and the true history of the world, could destabilize the existing world order. The world government's control over the global narrative would come to an abrupt end, as nations around the world would begin to demand answers. The people would rise up, fueled by the truth that has been hidden from them for centuries. The end of the world government's reign could bring about a new political structure, one where the concept of freedom, unity, and equality takes center stage. The nations of the world could form new alliances built on the ideals of cooperation and mutual respect. No longer would the celestial dragons rule over the common people. Instead, there could be a new order, one that truly values every individual. However, such a monumental shift wouldn't come easily. While many would rally behind the idea of freedom, there would undoubtedly be factions that resist the change. The old powers would fight tooth and nail to retain their positions, even if it means resorting to brutal tactics. This could lead to a period of political instability, where different factions battle for control of the world. The outcome would depend on the strength of the revolutionaries and their ability to unite the people against the remnants of the world government. Luffy, as the pirate king and the man who uncovered the truth, would undoubtedly play a central role in this new world. However, his role may not be one of dominance or tyranny. Luffy's vision of freedom has always been about empowering others, allowing them to live as they choose. He is not a man driven by the need to rule. He's driven by the desire to be free and to allow others to experience that same freedom. This could be a turning point in Luffy's character. As Pirate King, he could take on the mantle of a leader who helps guide the world into an era of peace and prosperity. His crew, too, would have a vital role in shaping this new world. Nami, with her navigational skills and strategic mind, could help rebuild the world as trade routes. Zoro, ever loyal, might become a symbol of strength and honor in this new society. Robin's understanding of history and the ancient texts could help preserve and teach the true history of the world, ensuring that the mistakes of the past are never repeated. But there's a darker side to this potential transformation. While the revolution could usher in an age of freedom, it also has the potential to plunge the world into chaos. The absence of the world government's order could lead to power struggles between the nations, pirates, and new factions vying for control. Without a central authority to keep the peace, the world could descend into an era of lawlessness, where only the strongest survive. This would lead to the question, will true freedom be achievable, or will it simply result in a power vacuum where new tyrants rise to take the place of the old ones? Blackbeard, as one of the most powerful and dangerous pirates, could very well seize this opportunity to claim dominance over the seas, using the knowledge of the One Piece to manipulate the situation to his advantage. He has no interest in freedom. He craves power and control. If left unchecked, Blackbeard could become the new face of tyranny, leading to a darker future for the world. The fate of the world could also rest in the hands of the Revolutionary Army. Dragon, Luffy's father, has long been working behind the scenes to dismantle the world government. With the truth of the One Piece now known, Dragon and his forces could rise to fill the power vacuum left by the fall of the world government. But this, too, is not without its challenges. Even if the revolutionaries succeed in overthrowing the old regime, the question remains, what kind of world do they want to build? Dragon's vision for the future has always been one of freedom and equality. However, his methods, covert operations, rebellion, and sometimes violent upheaval suggest that his brand of revolution might not be as peaceful as Luffy's. There's a possibility that Dragon's desire to free the world from tyranny could be marred by the very same oppression he sought to destroy. The line between revolutionary and dictator can sometimes be thin, and Dragon S choices will be critical in determining the future course of this new world. Lastly, the most profound consequence of the One Piece S revelation would be the change in how people view the world itself. The exposure of the Void Century and the truth behind the ancient kingdom would undoubtedly inspire a sense of global unity. People everywhere would begin to question the system that has kept them oppressed for so long. What was once a fragmented world, divided by seas and nations, could become a united force, standing together against any threat to their newfound freedom. However, this unity will require more than just the removal of the world government. It will require understanding, cooperation, and the will to work together despite differences. Luffy, Robin, and the rest of the Straw Hat Pirates may not be able to solve all the World S problems alone, but they will have sparked the change that others will continue to build upon. The world that emerges from the revolution of the One Piece could be one of boundless possibility, where the people are free to pursue their dreams without fear of oppression. But it could also be a world filled with uncertainty, where the struggles for power and control continue. The ultimate question is whether the world will be shaped by the ideals of freedom, justice, and unity, or if it will fall into chaos and tyranny once more. This, my friends, is the ultimate endgame. Will the world embrace the true spirit of the One Piece, or will it be doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past? The stars flicker in the night sky, reflecting off the tranquil waters as the thousand sunny drifts forward. The journey is far from over, and the world is on the brink of something unprecedented. The One Piece, once believed to be a simple treasure, has turned out to be the key to unlocking the world's hidden history, and with it, a future that could change everything. As the world begins to shift, we now face the question: what will the legacy of the One Piece be? Not just for Luffy and his crew, but for the generations that follow? We've explored the idea that the One Piece is a catalyst for revolution, the truth behind the Void Century, and a weapon for freedom. But now, we must think about the long-term impact of its revelation. What kind of world will Luffy's actions leave behind? Will it be a world forever changed for the better? Or will the scars of the past still remain, haunting the future of the Grand Line? Luffy has always been driven by a simple yet profound goal: freedom. Throughout his journey, he has battled powerful foes, forged bonds with unlikely allies, and defied impossible odds, all in pursuit of this dream. As Pirate King, Luffy will have the chance to reshape the world. But his vision of freedom is not one of personal gain or domination. It is a freedom that allows others to choose their own paths. The legacy of Luffy's victory in discovering the truth of the One Piece might not be about the treasure itself, but about the message it sends to the people of the world. It could inspire others to break free from the constraints that have bound them, to seek their own dreams, and to build a world without fear of oppression. Luffy, as the symbol of hope and change, could be remembered not as a ruler, but as the person who inspired an entire generation to take control of their destiny. But not all legacies are simple or clear-cut. The One Piece, in its role as a powerful truth, will leave behind ripples that affect everyone it touches. The destruction of the world government could lead to a period of intense rebuilding, where the nations must come together to create a new, more just order. Yet just as Luffy's actions have shown that one person can change the world, the future could also bring new figures, new forces, who seek to exploit the chaos that follows. Consider the people who will inherit the world after the fall of the world government. The generations that grow up in a world reshaped by the One Piece may not have the same struggles as those who lived under tyranny, but they will have their own challenges. The ideals of freedom and justice that Luffy and his crew fought for could become the foundation of a new world. But will those ideals be upheld? Could there be factions that arise trying to twist the truth for their own purposes? Perhaps there will be those who seek to restore the power of the celestial dragons, wanting to reclaim the status quo. Pirates like Blackbeard, who have been driven by a thirst for power, may attempt to fill the vacuum left by the world government, creating new conflicts and divisions. The One Piece may have brought freedom, but it might also create new divisions as the world struggles to define its new path. In this new world, the Grand Line itself could become a symbol of unity or division. The seas that once separated nations and kept them in isolation may now serve as a bridge between them. The New World, long considered a chaotic and dangerous place, could become the front line of global cooperation or global conflict. Pirates and revolutionaries alike might choose to chart new courses, not just for treasure, but for the sake of creating a better world. The Grand Line, once a place of lawless freedom, could transform into a space for exploration, discovery, and progress. On the other hand, there's the possibility that the Grand Line remains a place of danger and disorder, even in the wake of the One Piece's revelation. The power structures may have shifted, but that doesn't mean that peace will come easily. The island nations that once lived under the world government's thumb may now face internal strife as the struggle for control continues. New powers may rise in the vacuum left behind, and the pirates who remain will have to decide if they want to be part of this new world or if they'll continue to live outside its bounds. Then there's the personal legacy of the crew. Each member of the Straw Hat Pirates has their own dream, whether it's finding the all blue, becoming the greatest swordsman, or writing the true history of the world. Luffy's discovery of the One Piece may lead to the realization of these dreams, but it will also mark the beginning of a new chapter for each of them. They'll have to figure out where they fit into a world that has been irrevocably altered by the truth of the One Piece. Nami, as the navigator who helped guide them through the Grand Line, might find herself tasked with mapping a new world, one that is no longer divided by the constraints of the world government. Zoro, the swordsman, with his dreams of becoming the greatest, may find new challenges in a world where his strength is no longer just for fighting for treasure, but for defending peace. Robin's knowledge of history will be invaluable, helping to preserve the truth of the past while building a future grounded in the lessons learned from it. And for Luffy, perhaps his greatest legacy won't to be the title of Pirate King, but the world he leaves behind, one where people are free to pursue their dreams, and one where freedom isn't just a word, but a living, breathing reality. As we look to the future, the ultimate question remains: what kind of world will emerge after the One Piece is revealed? Will it be one of lasting peace and unity, or will the forces of power and corruption rise again? Will Luffy's dream of freedom become a reality, or will the world continue to struggle under the weight of its own history? The legacy of the One Piece isn't just in the treasure it is, in the people it inspires, and the changes it sets into motion. And for Luffy, the true treasure may not be the end of the journey, but the new world he helped create along the way. As the Thousand Sunny sails forward, the horizon stretches out, boundless and infinite, much like the journey itself. The crew has encountered countless challenges, faced impossible odds, and discovered truths that have shaped the course of history. And yet, as we reflect on everything we have uncovered in our exploration of the One Piece's true nature, one final question lingers. What does this all mean for the concept of adventure? Luffy's quest for the One Piece has always been framed as an adventure. From the moment he set sail with nothing but a dream and a straw hat, he embarked on a journey that would define not only his life but the lives of those around him. What started as a simple search for treasure has grown into something much greater, a quest to uncover the truth of the world, to challenge the powers that be, and to create a future where freedom reigns. But as we look at the revelations that the One Piece may not be a material treasure, but instead a transformative truth, we see that adventure itself is not just about what you find at the end of the journey, but what the journey makes of you. What if the One Piece is a metaphor for the adventure itself? A treasure that isn't a physical object, but the journey that shapes you, the experiences you collect along the way, and the people you meet who change your life forever. In this sense, the One Piece represents not just the goal, but the process, the lessons learned, the bonds formed, and the personal growth achieved. Luffy's crew, each one with their own individual dreams and aspirations, embodies this idea perfectly. Every island they've visited, every person they've helped, and every challenge they've overcome has been part of their collective journey. While their individual goals may differ, Zoro's pursuit of becoming the world's greatest swordsman, Nami's quest to map the world, Robin's search for the true history of the Void Century, they have all become united in a common cause: to adventure, to learn, and to ultimately shape their own destinies. Consider the concept of nakamas, the friends and allies who accompany you on your journey. In One Piece, the Straw Hat Pirates are the embodiment of this idea. They are not just comrades in arms, but a family that supports and pushes each other forward. Their journey, as much as it is about discovering the One Piece, is also about growing together, overcoming their personal struggles, and realizing that their greatest treasure lies in their unity. This brings us to the deeper question: is the One Piece a treasure meant to be found at all? The very notion of treasure in One Piece has always been questioned. While many pirates pursue the idea of wealth, Luffy has never been motivated by gold or riches. For him, the treasure is about freedom, the freedom to live life on his terms, the freedom to explore the world, and the freedom to shape his future. By this definition, the One Piece is something that every pirate, every adventurer, and every person in the world can strive for: the chance to create a life full of meaning, adventure, and joy. As we reflect on this, we come to realize that the true nature of adventure in One Piece is not about reaching a final destination, but about the journey itself. The treasure in this context is a metaphor for the endless possibilities that lie before you. It is about finding meaning in every step you take, every battle you fight, and every friendship you form. The One Piece, then, is not something that can be measured by material wealth. It is the culmination of the experiences, struggles, and triumphs that come with living a life full of purpose. In a way, Luffy's quest for the One Piece is a reflection of the ideal of adventure itself, a journey where the destination is ever changing, where the rewards are not always what you expect, and where the true value lies in the stories you create along the way. Luffy has taught us all that adventure is about more than treasure. It is about the people you meet, the obstacles you face, and the lessons you learn about yourself and the world. As the adventure continues, the legacy of the One Piece will live on not just as a treasure to be sought, but as a symbol of what it means to live freely and to choose your own path. The world that Luffy will leave behind will be a place where the pursuit of adventure is not confined to a single treasure, but where every person can find their own One Piece. The world will be full of new horizons to explore, new mysteries to uncover, and new dreams to chase. And for the Straw Hat Pirates, their journey will never truly end. There will always be new seas to sail, new lands to discover, and new adventures to be had. The One Piece, in its truest sense, is a journey that never stops, a story that continues to unfold with each passing day. And as long as Luffy and his Nakama continue to sail the Grand Line, the world will be full of endless possibilities for those who dare to dream. As we conclude this exploration, the message is clear. The One Piece is not just a treasure, it is a call to adventure. A reminder that the real treasure lies in the journey, the people we meet, and the stories we create along the way. The true meaning of the One Piece is the freedom to live, to dream, and to shape your own destiny. As the Thousand Sunny drifts under the canopy of stars, the world feels both infinite and intimately close. The crew sleeps soundly, having faced countless adventures and challenges together. But the reflection of their journey and of the theory we've explored today stirs in the stillness of the night. The One Piece, we've realized, is not just a singular treasure. It's the culmination of countless stories, dreams, struggles, and friendships woven into a greater tapestry that transcends the boundaries of treasure hunting or piracy. The revelation of the One Piece as a key to a revolutionary truth changes everything we know about the Grand Line and the pirate world itself. It brings us to the realization that this is just about Luffy's ultimate goal, nor about the quest for material wealth. It is about the story of freedom, the fight against oppression, and the endless pursuit of dreams. The One Piece is just the culmination of Luffy's adventure. It is the end of an era and the dawn of a new world. The void left by the collapse of the world government will create an unpredictable future, one where new ideologies, new conflicts, and new heroes will rise. But even as we look toward the future, we cannot forget the lessons of the past, the secrets of the void century, the destruction of the ancient kingdom, and the lies of the celestial dragons have all shaped the world into what it is now. The One Piece is a powerful symbol of how the world, though broken and scarred, can be rebuilt on a foundation of truth and unity. It is easy to imagine the revolution coming in waves. Uprisings sparked in places like Dressrosa, Alabasta, and even Enies Lobby, where the oppressed fought back against tyrannical powers. The unification of the world is a delicate matter, with so much to reconcile the differences between nations, the old power structures, and the new ideas brought forth by the Straw Hats. The potential for both progress and chaos is ever present. What can be hoped for is that the spirit of freedom, of adventure, and of the willingness to fight for one's beliefs will be carried forward by those who inherit the mantle of revolution. What will be the legacy of Luffy and his Nakama in this new world? In many ways, the greatest gift they have offered is not a simple answer or a straightforward path, but the encouragement to dream of a world where freedom isn't just a privilege for the few, but a right for all. They've set in motion a legacy where anyone from any walk of life can follow their own path, make their own choices, and pursue their dreams no matter the obstacles in their way. Luffy, the man who set out to find the One Piece, never sought control or power for its own sake. He sought to understand the world, to see the beauty in its diversity, and to live a life without the constraints of tyranny. His legacy will not be measured in gold or jewels, but in the lives he touched, the people he inspired, and the freedom he fought for. This interlude invites us to pause and consider what the One Piece means, not just as an abstract concept, but as a living, breathing idea that will continue to evolve. As we look back at the journey that has brought us here, it is clear that the most important part of the story has always been the journey itself. The treasure was never the goal. It was the lessons learned along the way, the sacrifices made, and the growth of each character that truly mattered. In the coming age, the One Piece will become more than a treasure. It will become a beacon of hope. It will symbolize the unyielding pursuit of truth, the fight for freedom, and the boundless possibilities that exist in a world where anything is possible. The future of the Grand Line is open, waiting to be shaped by those who dare to dream. As we look ahead, we know that the legacy of Luffy, the Pirate King, will endure. But the future will belong to those who continue his fight not just on the seas, but in every corner of the world. The One Piece, the treasure that began it all, will be remembered as a symbol of the limitless potential that lies in every person. It is a reminder that no matter where we come from, no matter the struggles we face, the journey we undertake is the real treasure. What does the future hold for the Grand Line? What new adventures await? The possibilities are endless, and as long as the spirit of the One Piece lives on, so too will the adventure. The sun rises over the horizon, casting a soft light on the waves as the Thousand Sunny sails forward into the new dawn. With each passing day, the world changes and the story of the One Piece continues to unfold, its legacy reaching far beyond the horizon. The truth about the treasure, about the void century, the lost kingdom, and the ideals of freedom will echo for generations. The world that Luffy and his Nakama fought for will be shaped by the lessons learned and the ideals they upheld. But what of the next generation? What kind of world will they inherit, and what will they take from the legacy of the Straw Hat Pirates? Luffy's story has inspired countless people, but now it is up to others to decide how they will carry the torch forward. The new world, once dominated by the oppressive world government, is now an open canvas, one that future adventurers, dreamers, and freedom fighters can shape as they see fit. As the dust settles and the revolutionary forces reclaim their freedom, a new wave of pirates, adventurers, and leaders will rise to take their place. The One Piece, now a symbol of truth and freedom, will inspire future generations to embark on their own quests, not for treasure, but for meaning, purpose, and the chance to make the world a better place. Imagine a world where the Grand Line is no longer just a dangerous, lawless stretch of ocean, but a place where people travel freely, chasing their dreams without fear of oppression. It's a world where the bonds of Nakama, the sense of community and unity, become the foundation for a new era. Each island visited by the Straw Hats, the friends they made, the battles they fought, the stories they left behind will become part of the fabric of this new world. The next generation of pirates might not be as focused on finding the One Piece, but their journeys will still be marked by the spirit of adventure. Luffy's influence will be felt far and wide, not as a legacy of power, but as a legacy of the pursuit of freedom. Pirates will no longer be mere outlaws or rebels, but adventurers who shape the world through their actions and dreams. It is easy to imagine new crews forming, inspired by the Straw Hats' unwavering bond. There will be those who take the lessons learned from the previous generation and build upon them, creating a world where the ideals of freedom, equality, and justice can flourish. The bonds of Nakama will continue to be a central theme. Pirates, revolutionaries, and adventurers alike will form their own families, united by a common dream of a better world. But it is not just pirates who will shape the new world. The people who were once oppressed by the world government will have their voices heard. No longer silenced by fear or brutality, they will rise up, empowered by the truth of their shared history and the knowledge that they have the right to forge their own destinies. Nations will rebuild themselves, guided by the ideals of cooperation and mutual respect. The people of the world will no longer live in the shadows of the celestial dragons. The truth of the void century, once hidden away by the world government, will be a foundation for healing. It will unite nations, not in the fear of war or power struggles, but in the shared pursuit of knowledge, justice, and peace. The new generation will know that they can write their own stories and build a world that reflects the ideals of freedom and unity that Luffy and his crew fought for. Luffy, as Pirate King, will have fulfilled his dream, but the dream itself will live on. It will continue to inspire future generations to seek out their own adventures, to chase their own dreams, and to live their lives without the fear of being held back by the powers that once ruled the seas. His legacy will not be one of wealth or dominance, but one of hope, of endless possibilities, and of the belief that anyone can make a difference if they dare to dream. As we move forward into the future, the One Piece will no longer be a single destination. It will be a symbol, a reminder that the journey is what matters most. The adventure doesn't end with the discovery of treasure. It continues in every story told, in every life changed, and in every person who sets sail to discover their own One Piece. The future of the Grand Line is in the hands of the next generation, and they will shape it with the same spirit of adventure and freedom that Luffy and his Nakama embodied. The legacy of the One Piece is not just about treasure, it is about the world it helps create. A world where people are free to chase their dreams. A world where the past is no longer a chain but a lesson. And a world where the ideals of freedom, justice, and hope continue to inspire those who dare to dream. As long as the spirit of the One Piece lives on, the adventure will never end. In the end, the true treasure of the One Piece is the world it leaves behind. A world full of possibility, full of dreams, and full of hope for anyone willing to set sail and make their own journey. The adventure will live on, not in the stories of the past, but in the hearts of those who dare to continue the fight for freedom and the pursuit of their own dreams.